Hi, I'm Timothy Holden from London HR and Training. Today we're going to talk about diversity, quite a hot topic following Brexit and the election of Donald Trump in the US. So we're going to make a big emphasis on trans, which is something of an overlooked area of diversity. We're going to talk about that. We're going to start off with saying that an organisation, or any organisation, is typically at some point on a continuum of diversity. So the most opposite poles of diversity are a very inclusive organisation at one end, or a singular culture at the other end. I remember a singular culture I worked with in Liverpool, and everyone there looked the same, talked the same, were the same. So quite a narrow field and pool to work from. And then an issue that people didn't fit that very tight criteria, didn't find them a welcoming place to work. Next to singular culture is compliance. So organisations that meet their legal requirements, and that's the bare minimum they do. They do just what's required and no more. Then you've got an organisation that embraces diversity. So that's in the middle of the five. Then you've got an organisation that's collaborative, so collaborates around diversity initiatives. And at the far end you've got inclusive. So where your organisation is on that spectrum and where you want it to be is something you might want to think about. So we've got a business case for including trans people in our organisation, helping business performance. They attract certain talent, they retain certain talent, the organisations that feel there's a business case here. Trans people typically are associated with innovation and collaboration. They have a strength and a desire to improve an organisation's brand. An individual performance, the chances are if you're employing trans people there'll be greater job commitment, there'll be higher levels of satisfaction and motivation, employee engagement, there'll be improved workplace relationships, and if you're going to employ trans people, an action plan is, well, first of all you need an organisation commitment. It needs to come from the top. The very senior people in the organisation need to be committed to employing more people from a trans background. Then a policy gets put in place. You look at the physical spaces such as washrooms and toilets and showers. You look at all employee engagement, so everybody needs to be on board. You need to make sure there's lots and lots of communication. And then we're looking at service delivery agreement, a customer service agreement on how we can attract and retain and promote people from a trans background. So to knock down the barriers that inhibit diversity, inclusion and equality, then we're thinking, well, how can we do that? We can have informal mentoring, so we can partner a certain person from an underrepresented group with a certain person from the mainstream. We can recover from our mistakes. There will be mistakes along the way, there always is with diversity, equality, inclusion. People say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, get offended, think someone might get offended. So we recognise there will be such mistakes happening, but we need to be aware that bullying is totally unacceptable, insensitive comments are totally unacceptable, harassment is unacceptable, and make sure that people who commit such offences are dealt with quite severely. So the approach is to harness diversity. We need to measure diversity and inclusion. If we don't have the starting point of how many people are from certain ethnic groups, gender, sexual orientation, then how can we hope to progress if we don't know where we're starting from? We need to measure it and make people comfortable by telling the employer which category they belong to. We need to hold managers accountable. If you have a policy in your department, be it implicitly that you don't employ certain underrepresented groups, that needs to change. You need to be held accountable for that and given key performance indicators to make a difference in a positive way. We also need to support flexible working arrangements. Certain groups, such as mothers, perhaps want to do the school drop-off, the school pick-up. That needs to be reflected in the hours they work. We need to recruit and promote from a diverse pool of candidates. If it's always white, heterosexual, able-bodied men, a bit like me, male, pale and stale, then the organisation will be male, pale and stale. Let's change it around a bit. We need to provide leadership education. So the leaders in our organisation need to be aware of the benefits, the business case of why a diverse and inclusive workforce is better than one that's not diverse or is not inclusive. We need to sponsor employee resource groups and mentoring programs, put some money and time into it. We need to offer quality role models. They may not be in our organisation. They may be outside with suppliers or clients or retirees or ex-employees. Let's find them, keep in touch with them. And we need to make someone responsible, be that a chief diversity officer, be that HR, be that chief executive, someone in the organisation responsible for achieving these sort of changes. So my name's Timothy Holden. I run the company London Human Resource and Training. You can find me online. Get in touch. Hope to speak to you soon.